Welcome to today's deep dive, where we're jumping into the technical manuals and specs for the Kiloview KVW-PRO NDI core system.
Right.
Our mission for you today is to figure out how modern live video production is replacing literal tons of physical hardware with, well, just a single piece of software.
Yeah, I mean, if you look behind a traditional broadcast desk, it's usually just a total nightmare of thick, heavy coaxial cables.
Oh, it is the absolute worst.
Right, but the industry is rapidly moving toward IP-based video, specifically NDI or Network Device Interface.
Which simply means sending broadcast quality video over your standard computer Ethernet network, right?
Yeah.
Rather than, relying on dedicated video cables.
Exactly. So instead of running a massive heavy line from every single camera back to a physical switcher, everything just plugs right into the network.
Wow.
And that's exactly where this Kiloview software steps in.
It acts like basically the master air traffic controller for all those digital signals.
Yeah, and the system is literally named CORE, which stands for Control, Organize, Route, and Everything.
And everything. I love that.
Right. And the moment it's deployed on your local network, it just automatically finds every NDI source available.
We're talking robotic conference cameras, laptops, like even mobile phones.
Yep, it aggregates all those feeds, whether they're standard HD or massive 4K formats, and just routes them wherever they need to go from one single dashboard.
Okay, but let's unpack the spec sheet for a second because it throws around the phrase unlimited inputs and outputs.
Right, the magic word.
Yeah, but, standard hardware video switchers use massive dedicated processors specifically so they don't glitch when cutting between sources. Yeah, so if this is just software running on a PC, how is it not crashing or dropping frames when juggling, say, 50 different 4K cameras at once?
Well, the secret is really in how the software is deployed. The manual explicitly requires putting the system inside a Docker environment.
Usually on a Linux machine, right?
Ideally, yes. And Docker is a container system. It essentially builds a digital wall around the Kiloview software.
Which ensures it doesn't have to fight with any other background computer processes for CPU power or memory.
Exactly. It gets guaranteed uninterrupted access to the hardware.
And according to the specs, you need a 4-core processor and at least 16 gigabytes of RAM for this.
Plus a massive data pipeline. I mean, they recommend at least a 10 gigabit per second network.
Wow, 10 gigabit.
Yeah, because you're now treating high-resolution video like data packets in a high-speed digital postal system, so you really need the bandwidth to move it all instantly.
Right. And when you give the software that isolated Docker environment and that wide data pipe, it can switch between an unlimited number of inputs with less than a single frame of delay.
Which is wild, and it does all of this without needing an external frame synchronizer to perfectly line up the video timing.
So for a producer running a live event, they aren't just getting a simple video router here. They're getting the tools that normally require entirely separate, really expensive control boards.
Yeah, the integration is what makes it a full studio replacement. Through that single interface, a producer can control PTZ.
Meaning pan, tilt, and zoom for robotic cameras.
Exactly. And it triggers tally lights, which are those red on-air lights so the palette knows exactly which camera is live.
Oh, it's incredibly useful.
Yeah.
It even handles auto-switching via playlists and manages user roles, right? So an audio engineer doesn't accidentally cut the main video feed.
Right, which happens way more often than you'd think. It essentially takes a standard local network and turns it into a high-end, low-latency TV production studio.
You're just seamlessly copying and routing IP signals.
Yeah, which actually brings us to a compelling final thought for you to consider today.
Oh, lay it on us.
Well, if broadcast infrastructure is rapidly shifting to isolated Linux-based software tools that can flawlessly juggle an unlimited number of 4K feeds over a standard computer network, are we currently witnessing the final days of the traditional physical hardware switcher?
Man, it definitely makes you look at those massive, heavy production desks with hundreds of physical buttons and wonder if they just belong in a museum now.
It really does.
Definitely something for you to keep an eye on the next time you see a live event control room.